I think we on? I hope we're on. I hope we're on. Let's just give it a second for people to join. Good morning, everyone. In fact, is it still morning? I don't even know if it's morning, but good morning, good afternoon, whether you're watching this on, whether you guys are watching this live or whether you guys are watching this later on. So listen, guys, what I want to talk about today is the summer of carnage and the light in this room. Right, guys, you know what? I've just noticed something. The camera we got from TikTok is far better. The camera we got from TikTok is a lot better. Right, guys, listen, the Summer of Carnage, if you've not seen it now, if you've not seen the Summer of Carnage actually happening in the United Kingdom, like, I genuinely don't know where you're looking. So right now, guys, listen, we have got an actual crescendo of things coming together, where we've got Tommy Robinson released from jail, Lucy Conley still in jail, we've still got the trial of Ricky Jones, we've still got the trial of the two guys who had fisticuffs in Manchester Airport, allegedly. All this stuff is leading to the same direction, guys. It's leading to the Summer of Carnage 2025. It's going to be bonkers. Now, I want to talk quickly about pack mentality. I spoke about this on I need to swap these cameras around, guys. You know what? I don't need to swap these cameras around. I need to leave these cameras as they are. So I did a video for the subscribers. I did a video for the subscribers, like a couple of, I think it was yesterday. We talked about pack mentality. Yeah, the other camera is far better. Right, guys, I've just realized, listen, I've been so busy this morning. Let me just go and turn that. In fact, let me click this button here. Let me click a button. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I will come to your comments in a minute. Let me just click some buttons. Is it that one? Is that one? Have I clicked that? But we are going to talk. Oh, there we are. Click that and click that. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Right, let me just turn this light on. Good morning again, everyone. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I can confirm that we are double streaming. We are double streaming, guys. I finally figured out how to do it. So if you miss part of this live, this is streaming live onto Facebook. This is streaming live on YouTube as well, and then it will be uploaded on YouTube. So right, guys, listen, the Summer of Carnage, it does seem like it's here. It does seem like people are starting to notice it. Even mainstream media now are using the word carnage. I don't know if they're watching my videos. I don't know. But what we have got right now is, there's certain words I can't say on here, guys, but if you've watched the videos from Liverpool the other night, if you guys watched the videos from Liverpool the other night, people were shouting things from the crowd. And to me, that just shows you the underlying feeling in the pit of people's stomachs. And this is the reality, guys, you know, as we're moving forward in time in whatever this is. And towards the end of this live stream, guys, we might go down a strange path, because look at the things that are happening now. Lucy Connolly is still in jail. Now, look, guys, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge, certainly. I'd be terrible as a judge. But I don't understand how Lucy Connell is in prison, guys, for a post she did online. Again, with Tommy Robinson now, you know, again, I struggle to see how he's had such the treatment that he's had in, you know, the treatment that he's had while he's been inside. It's absolutely unbelievable. Now, those of you who've been watching the channel for a while, can you remember how I said, oh, thank you, Jody Lee, for sending coins? And guys, you guys are sending lots of gifts. And if you're watching on, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Right, let me get these comments, guys. So this live, in fact, before I go to the comments, guys, listen, this live, it's going to be about, Andrew, and on, in fact, I'll do the, right, also there's people commenting on YouTube as well. So listen, before we continue, we're going to talk about Summer of Carnage coming. We're going to talk how this is we're going to talk about how this is I believe this is a plot for a takeover of the United Kingdom, guys. I really do. Can you guys remember when I was doing the videos and I was saying, listen, guys, I'm seeing things here where the United Kingdom becomes part of the United States. Throw it in the comments, guys, if you guys can remember me saying that. I got a lot of stick for those videos saying, oh, Sean, the United Kingdom will never be part of the United States. And I was like, oh, guys, look, really? I'm seeing the direction and the push towards it. You know, one of the things I actually said, I remember doing a video about it, and I said, look, guys, if we think we can't have a revolution in this country, imagine this, right? Imagine this in the United Kingdom. We're pushed, we're squeezed to breaking point, and then I literally said this, guys. I said, imagine if somebody like Elon Musk comes out and he says, I will fund whatever political party can take over the government of the United Kingdom, and anybody that gets arrested, we're going to set them free. Remember when I said, so, probably not those exact words, but words to that effect? Well, it turns out now that Elon Musk is allegedly, anyway, guys, allegedly, oh, hang on. Allegedly, Tommy Robinson is being funded now by Elon Musk. Like, you couldn't make it up. I don't know if people are just listening and doing what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, listen, I am going to come to the comments now. Freddie over on YouTube is saying, have you been banned from TikTok? I was banned from TikTok. I'm back on now, and I'm double streaming. Right, let me get these... Let me get these comments, guys. Let me get these comments. So, good morning, Joe, Yamir, Scott Wilson, Kate Kilroy, Kate, Natalie Cotter, Moomin Queen. Moomin Queen, good morning, Moomin Queen. Priv Carol saying good morning back to Priv Carol. April saying good morning. Joe Masepo is saying good evening, Sean. It's 10:26 in Auckland. Yeah, so yeah, Joe is a long way away watching the festivities unfold in the United Kingdom, the breakdown of civilization. Listen, something one of my Ukrainian friends said to me. He listens to London radio. He phoned me up. He said, Sean, you have lots of commercial on United Kingdom for selling gold. I said, yeah, it's always the thing, mate. He says, you do realize that this is build up to war. I said, what do you mean? He said, it's build up to war. They want precious metals. They want to take control of precious metals. And I'd never actually thought of that, you know. But all these companies now asking for your gold. And again, look, guys, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just something that he said to me. Sharon Owen, good morning to you, Sharon Owen. Lulswell is saying hi. Jody Lee is saying morning. Have I missed much? No, you've not missed much, Jody Lee. We've just got on. I'm double streaming at the moment. Finally, I figured out how to do it. April Lee is saying people have had enough. Listen, if you think people have had enough now, wait until this summer. Wait until the 6 weeks holidays, guys. Wait until the country unfolds and we're in the 6 weeks holidays and everything is bonkers, guys, and everything's bonkers. Oh, somebody just subscribed. Lisa Milbank, thank you for your subscription. Lisa Milbank, thank you so much. And thank you for all you guys who are subscribing. Listen, guys, okay, so I am double streaming at this point. So I'm double streaming on 2 platforms. So I don't want to say things that are not going to make sense on the other platform. So regardless of which platform you guys are watching, can you hit those like buttons, the follow, the subscribe, literally all the buttons that you guys can do to help this channel grow? Because we are heading towards the Summer of Carnage. I believe that I've been talking about this and predicting this longer than anyone else. Now, I am going to talk about, I do want to focus this live stream on the Summer of Carnage that you can see now happening. But also, guys, listen, as a backdrop, I still see that the world is heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale, and I don't see any way back from that. I say quite often that we're going to wake up on a Monday morning, everything's going to be fine. We're going to go to bed on a Friday, and we're going to be like, whew, well, that escalated quickly. That's literally going to be it, guys. Sharon Owen is saying she was put in to scare people. What we're talking about there is Lucy Conley. Yeah, she was, guys. She was put in prison as a warning to people not to speak out on social media, online. Look, I got this live banned, and I got banned from a week from TikTok for saying something. Obviously, I'm not going to repeat what I said, but Donald Trump said something worse. Donald Trump said something worse than what I said to get this live stream banned and get a black mark against my name. And everybody's sharing it, and nothing's happening to them. So you see, guys, how I say things before they happen, and I get slapped on the wrist for doing that. That's why we have subscribers videos, guys. Look, I did do a subscribers video, and I talked about pack mentality. If you guys and some advice on that. If you've not seen that video yet, guys, go and watch that video that I did on pack mentality. It's really important. Google is saying, Mamma Mia, here we go again. Yeah, it does feel, guys, look, when I've been talking, can you see now the summer that's brewing? Can you see the summer that's brewing? As soon as Tommy Robinson was out of, look, guys, if you want to have a peaceful summer, you would have kept Tommy Robinson inside. You could quite easily do that. And look, guys, I need to be quite clear. I think his treatment, and again, my perception anyway of his treatment has been absolutely, as I understand it, he's the only person who's ever been sent to, and again, guys, look, I need to caveat this. I'm not a legal expert. I don't know all the ins and outs, so I don't want any legal expert in the comments saying, oh, Sean, this is actually the case. I believe he was sent to jail for contempt of court, but I think he's the only person in fact, you know what? Let's fact check this. Let's fact check this real quick. All right, okay, so 9 people in England and Wales, 9 people were in prison for contempt of court as of June the 30th, 2024. On average, at least 100 people receive an immediate or suspended prison sentence for contempt each year. The maximum penalty for criminal contempt under the Contempt of Court Act 1981 is committal to prison for 2 years. So 2 years is the maximum time in jail somebody can get for contempt of court. Okay, right, okay. Regardless, guys, this whole situation and the perception of it is absolutely wild, But as I was saying, now, Tommy Robinson's out of jail now. He will be organizing protests, rallies, marches, all that sort of stuff that's going to come to a crescendo this summer. So there you see it, guys. You see all these things now fitting together, and you see all these and again, I keep saying it's. I sometimes I really do feel we're like in a Christopher Nolan movie. Oh, hang on. I need to move them. You know, sometimes I really do feel like we're in a Christopher Nolan movie where, you know, all these temporal factors are moving together. And guys, listen, it is going to come to a crescendo this summer. Remember, guys, listen, I've done lots of videos, and I think it's good that we're double streaming this time, so you guys can go back and listen to it. But remember those things. What I've done other videos on them, guys. All right. Hibernate. What is it? I forgot what it is. Hibernate. Relocate, evacuate. Yeah, sorry, miles away. I used to teach this. So when I used to go to other countries, countries that were hostile environments, the Middle East, parts of Ukraine, you know, I would be teaching people. And what I would say is, look, remember three things when you're planning your exit strategy. Hibernate, relocate, evacuate. So the first thing you need to do, and imagine the scenes, guys. Imagine if this pack mentality hits the streets wherever you are. You know, there are places in Leeds, Bradford, Manchester, you know, all over the country that have heavy populations that we have seen chaos on the streets. And look, guys, wherever you live in the United Kingdom, don't think that this can't come to you. You might be out shopping. Anything could happen. So imagine that situation where something happens, there's a mass protest near where you live, and the streets are closed, there's burnt out cars, there's all sorts of carnage. That's when you need to hibernate, guys. You know, you need to hibernate. Go back to your house, make sure you've got 24 to 48, 72 hours worth of food, water, and fuel. Just sit it out in your house. 9 times out of 10, this trouble will be on the streets, and it very rarely comes into people's houses. After hibernate, you want to start thinking about relocating. So relocate someone like somebody who lives nearby, but out of that region, out of that chaos area. Might be your mum, your nan, your gran, your sister, somebody that's out of the way. Maybe somebody who's got a detached house in the middle of nowhere. That would be a perfect location to go to. And then if things are getting really, really, really bad, you might want to start thinking about evacuating, getting on the next plane out of the country and going to a safe country if you can find one. Just remember those three things, guys. We are double streaming, so this video will be uploaded. This will be uploaded to Facebook. No, it won't be uploaded to Facebook. It will be uploaded to YouTube. Right, let me get these comments, guys. Let me get these comments because there is quite a few. I do apologise. Right, loads of comments, actually. Loads of comments. Right, I do apologise. I will get everyone's comments. Four Paws, good morning, everyone. Googly saying, Mamma Mia. April saying, I remember the time. Listen, I've been listening to a lot of Michael Jackson lately. Right, okay, yeah. So we're talking about there where I was saying, what if Elon Musk or somebody like that gets involved? And lo and behold, a couple of months later, Elon Musk is now actively involved. Wasn't his nanan British or something? Joe is saying, yes, I can remember you saying it a while ago. Google is just saying it. Release suspects ethnicity early, Met Police Chief says. Right, I will have to come on to that and see what we mean. I'm assuming that's from the newspapers. Danny Boy is saying good morning. I'm saying good morning right back to you, Danny Boy. Badenoch will be ousted this year, predicts Cummins. Yeah, I think she will be as well. And I think Robert Jenrick's going to be in. And I think that was always the plan, to have Robert Jenrick in charge of the Conservatives. I think that was always a plan, guys. You know, get him off the scenes, get him out of the limelight, get him out there. I mean, he's done some brilliant little videos, you know, highlighting some problems that we have in the United Kingdom. But yeah, listen, guys, I don't count Labour out at the next election, guys. I really don't. People don't understand how the political system works. I really don't, guys. You know, all the Labour Party have to do in the United Kingdom to win back votes, the year before the election, they come down hard on immigration. They come down hard on, you know, they start doing mass deportations. You know, they start raising the living quality of people. And people will forget, guys. People forget. People think, oh, well, you know, we've always voted Labour and, you know, they've had to come through. So I wouldn't, listen, guys, you know, I wouldn't write any party off right now. It's going to be a long time before we have elections in the United Kingdom. If we even have elections, I mean, if we're in the middle of World War III, I would say that we will be struggling to, you know, to hold elections. Danny Boy, no, I've not contacted him yet. I was working all day yesterday. One of my students actually came up to me and he says, "Oh, hang on, I don't want to incriminate anyone." one of the students where I teach came up to me and just said, I follow you on TikTok. Google is saying Kremlin responds to Zelensky's call for a three-way peace summit. Is Macron involved somehow? I don't know. Sharon Owen, I follow the gold prices to see what's going on with the war. Yeah, listen, this is like from my friend in fact, let me text him actually to get an update. Sorry. Yeah, so what was it? Yeah, the gold prices, guys, are absolutely bonkers. Now, my friend in Ukraine, I was talking, I have like group chats at the weekend and stuff, and we have that's how that when you listen, guys, when you're like, when you've got friends in other countries, you just get the computer on, you put the you do a group chat, everybody gets up there, you have like a carbonated drink, and that's it. But one of the things that my friend was saying, he was saying, Sean, listen, in fact, he was saying, alas. Sure, I listen to the London radio, and there is lot of talk about gold sales. Is this new? I said, no, mate. It's always on the radio in the United Kingdom. Like they're always wanting to buy gold. And he said, you do realize this is precursor to war? I said, well, I've never thought about it, but what do you mean? He said, they are trying to take control of all precious metal. I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of that. But yeah, the gold price, because that's where people put their money when times are hard, people put their money in gold because it's a solid investment. It's a finite resource. Well, yeah, it's a finite resource. Well, it's a finite resource unless you consider the universe is infinite. And I don't want to go down that part of the universe as infinite and talking about space and aliens and crop circles just yet, guys. We're going to wait till the end of the live and talk about that. Google it, picture Justin Trudeau wears trainers to King's speech. Oh, but he's the guy of the world, isn't he? Starmer dragged into, I'm just going to pin this because there's certain things, I have to be very careful, guys, now, what I say. King's speech in Canada was interesting. I've not watched the King's speech in Canada yet, guys. Hang on, let me Britain's plan to deny Russia control of Arctic. Look, okay, the Canadians and the Americans will deal with the Arctic. Britain will deal with Antarctic. The Antarctic is the main play here, guys. Listen, everything I feel is heading towards the Antarctica. It's absolutely insane. It's wild. It's, there's so many question marks around Antarctica. And remember, guys, if you're part of the United Kingdom, we are sitting on the biggest oil reserves the world has ever seen off the coast of the Antarctic. And remember, whoever controls the Falkland Islands controls Antarctica. That's the reality, guys. So that is why those little islands in the South, the South Atlantic, that's why they're so important. Danny boy, there is not enough prisons to house everyone. Hang on, the chat's going crackers, guys. Let me just jump up and get some more. Paul Poops is saying, Tommy, hang on, if I pin this, it doesn't vanish. Right. Paul Poops is saying, Tommy has already said his next project is to destroy the Labour Party, funded by Elon Musk. Yeah, this is what I mean, guys. It's like the summer of carnage. It's coming. Can you imagine? Like, when you try and take, how do you think Lord Ali and Lord Ali's financial backers are gonna take that? How do you think they're gonna take that? Do you think they're gonna put more chaos on the streets? Do you think they're gonna have more chaos on the streets to cause more carnage, to bring down the far right or whatever perceptional, boogeyman we've got, and this is coming, guys. This is coming, be under no illusion. And I do think, guys, look, I do think it's all related to crop circles. And I know that's a wild push. It's a stretch of the imagination, but I do think it's all related to crop circles, guys. I do. Right, let me get, done that one. Danny boy, I saw people on here in Middlesbrough. Hang on. I saw a video on, right, Danny Boy, I'm just going to pin this. When was that? So Danny Boy's saying, I saw a video of people in Middlesbrough. Do you know what? Danny Boy didn't say that. Listen, I do this quite often. I look at something and I read it in my own words. So what Danny Boy is actually saying is, I saw a video on here in Middlesbrough of people destroying houses and cars. When was that? Was that last summer? Because I think I saw them again as well. Was that was that recently? April saying, does your house have space for 2 adults, a dog, and 3 cats and a tortoise, Sean? Listen, do you know what? It's funny because I was laid in bed last night and we was all in the bed and we was talking about a zombie apocalypse plan. We figured like there's no point having an alien invasion, an alien apocalypse plan because like it's just too you're just gonna have to keep on the move. But we was talking about a zombie apocalypse plan, and what we actually did is we actually we don't really have neighbours, but the people who live closest to us, we said, right, this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take control of these allotments. There's a church. We're going to have that. The whole village, we rescheduled the village in case of a zombie apocalypse plan. Snowdrops is saying, Sean, you need to watch a man on here, another man's shoes about Bournemouth. Snowdrops, can you send me a link to that, mate? Can you inbox me a link to that, mate? And I'll watch it. And Vienna Scott on the other platform on YouTube is saying no safe countries. Look, like guys, honestly, we are being pushed. Our family are being pushed day by day. We're being pushed to moving out of this country. And believe it or not, one of the safest places for our family, I think, would be Ukraine. You know, I know the people. I speak the language. You know, we can move out to Ukraine like now. And like, yes, there are things coming through the sky that go kaboom. But like, if you walk on the streets in Kiev at nighttime, you don't feel there's not the gangs roaming the streets, you know. You feel safe. You feel safe, guys. You do if you walk around Kiev. But yeah, I do feel Kiev is one of the. Listen, guys. I just you know, I do love Ukraine. What gone on with girls and oh right, yeah, Snowdrops. You will have to send Snowdrops. You have to send me an inbox to that. Googly is saying decriminalize. Oh, right. Okay. We'll come on to that afterwards. Watch China's. Oh, yeah, guys. Did anybody watch that Chinese kickboxing match? The robots in China. Like, that was terrifying. Look, I like the advances in artificial intelligence and robotics absolutely terrify me, guys. Like, everything. Literally everything at some point gets weaponized. Everything. There's no denying it. So like, are we really thinking that like behind the scenes to the Tesla robot or the what's the word? Is it General Dynamics? No, it's not General Dynamics. Well, the other company that makes the robots. You know, do we think they're making these robots just for like cute little, you know, as cute little pets? Or do we think at some point we're talking about having an actual Star Wars, what is it, Attack of the Drones or something? Like a drone army, like chuck, 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 down the stream. Listen, guys, I am definitely in. I am definitely in Team Humanities. I'm definitely in Team Humanity, guys. There's not a chance. Well, I don't know. I'm never saying never, but I don't know what circumstances could lead to me having that brain chip. Tommy Robinson said not to believe the prison are full. He had 14 cells to himself, a whole wing. Well, that's just greedy. So I'm going to pin this. That is just greedy. 14 cells. I mean, what do you do with 14 cells? Do you have one every day and like spice it up a little bit? Right, that's 2 weeks gone. I'm going to go back. The possibility to control stuff, says Priv Caro. Amy Adamson says hi. Amy Adamson. Helena Brittlestone is here. Danny Boy, not sure how look. Thank you, Danny Boy. Poor Sarah, nice full of passion. Good morning, Debbie. Good morning, 1973. Debbie, 1973. Good morning. Junior doctors demand another 30% pay rise strike. Look, guys, something else I want to talk about now, as you just mentioned it. They're talking about lifting the two-child in the United Kingdom. They're talking about lifting the two-child. Hang on. Yeah, this is what. Okay, so you know, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about this. What Google has just put on. So Google has just put on Met Chief. In fact, let me get the breaking news. Actually, so Google has just put on. Met Chief says that Starmer's early release will just lead to more crime. Now, if you right, guys, let's just for 1 second. I haven't got it in here. Let's put our tinfoil hats on for 1 second. And let's just say there's someone behind the scenes is subverting the United Kingdom. Let's just say that since the 1960s, the United Kingdom has been heavily demoralized. Since the 1990s, it's been heavily destabilized. And right now, we're going to head into the crisis phase, and then you'd get the normalization phase after that. What better way to do it than release criminals early? Keep people in jail that shouldn't be in jail early. You know, and all this stuff, if you take a step back and think, right, is this leading to chaos on our streets? How do you lead to chaos on the streets? This would be the direction that you would go, guys. This would be the direction that you would go. Oh, hang on, guys. I do need to send a text, actually. Sorry about that. Yeah, so if you did want to cause carnage and chaos on the streets in the United Kingdom, these are the things you would do. And like, you know, I can't say it enough, guys. Like months and months ago, when I said, look, I genuinely see a path here where the United Kingdom becomes part of the United States. You know, I got a lot of people saying, oh, Sean, that had never happened. And then guess what happened? We had the saga with Greenland, the saga with Canada, the saga with the Panama Canal. And then it started to not look as insane. And one of the things I said, look, if we head into the crisis phase in the United Kingdom this year, we are in absolute crisis. By crisis, I mean the police have lost control and they know they've lost control. Emergency laws are out to say that, private security companies can arrest people and detain them. Like crazy laws are passed and it's just absolutely insane. People will be screaming out for someone, anyone, whether that's the Tooth Fairy, whether that's Father Christmas, whoever, to come down and just sort it out. And then I remember giving this exact same speech, guys, months and months and months ago. And then I was saying, right, and then if somebody like Elon Musk pops up and says, you know, I'm going to fund whatever political party to the tune of like £1 billion or whatever arbitrary number it is, you know, that would give a huge incentive. And if he said, look, and one of those caveats is anybody that's arrested in a pro-free speech, forgot how to talk. I forgot the English language. How dare I? You know, in a pro-free speech rally, anyone who's arrested, we will let them out once we're in charge. That is how you cause a revolution, guys. And the more we move forwards through time, as unlikely as those things seem to you guys, you know, a lot of people, as unlikely as those things seemed, look at what's happening now, guys. Like, look at what's happening now. These things are moving forwards. They're tippy-toeing forwards, and these things are going to happen, guys. Listen, remember, when the summer holidays is here, when people have reached that critical mass, everybody's off work, the kids are off school, that you have what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word with family? Not social, but internal. You've got internal politics within the family. You know, you've got internal politics within the family. People are struggling for money. People have got no jobs. And if you look at Karl Marx's Marx and Engels Communist Manifesto, literally, and again, I mean, those guys were just like lefties. But you know, one of the things they do say in that Communist Manifesto is that when people have no work and there's no possibility of work and people have lost all hope, that's when a revolution happens. And it does look like that is being pushed forward on us, guys. It does. Right, let me get the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we've done. Have we spoke about Dominic Cummings saying? Yeah, we did. Dominic Cummings saying that Kemi Badenoch's going to be ousted by the end of this year. Right, do you know what, guys? I want to have a look at this Liverpool incident. Let's see if there's any update. 11 hours, 1 day. No, there's no, guys, isn't it strange how the media has gone totally silent on this? The media have gone absolutely silent on this. They're not telling it. There really hasn't been any more information come out about this. Hang on. Liverpool club cancels further title celebrations. Yeah, that's not really. Right, so here's an article, guys. I'm just going to read you this real quick. So this is from the Independent. Why police released suspects' details so quickly? Within 2 hours of a car plowing into people in Liverpool city centre, police had confirmed the alleged driver was a 53-year-old white man from the Merseyside area. No doubt desperate to halt the spread of misinformation online, which had already begun to circulate on social media, along with graphic footage of the incident. Merseyside police made the unusual decision to share the suspect's ethnicity. So, like, is that what the police do now in the United Kingdom? As soon as there's a mass crime or any crime, do we say what ethnicity there is? Like, is this going to be continued? Like, and again, you know, for example, if there's a crime involving something you eat your dinner with, and it's not a fork or a spoon, are they going to say, "Oh, this is a grey alien from the Sirius constellation," or whatever? You know, are they going to do that every time? It marks a complete step change in their approach to the response to the horrific, and then it says what happened in Southport last year. Listen, guys, people haven't forgot about what happened in Southport. People haven't forgot about the what happened, how the government reacted. You know, people haven't forgot the absolute. How do I put this? I certainly haven't forgot watching Keir Starmer walk down that street with that wreath and looking at his face and just thinking, what do you know, my friend? What do you know? What do you know? What have you been briefed on? And it's never sat right well with me. And then all this information came out afterwards, guys. You know, it's just. And this is the way we're going, guys, in the United Kingdom. It really is the way we're going. Right, let me close these two windows down. Guys, listen, I can see the comments going. I will come back to those comments in a second. Up to the comments, actually, not back to them. In a second. Right, let me get these comments. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I know I don't say this enough, but if you're watching, whether you're watching on here, on TikTok or YouTube or wherever you're watching, can you do me a real big favor and hit those buttons down below or up the side or wherever they are to help this channel grow, whether that's the follow, the like, the subscribe, and the share, guys. Listen, let's share this stuff and get this message out there. The Summer of Carnage does seem like it's here already. I give the temporal marker of the Summer of Carnage to start the 4th of what did I say? You guys probably know better than me. The 4th of July in Cardiff. I still believe that, guys. You know, I still believe we're going to see skirmishes. And again, like, it could be argued that there were skirmishes in Liverpool the other night. Like, remember, guys, you know, if you've watched the videos with the sound on, people are shouting things. People are shouting things that I'm not going to repeat on here because it'll get the live ban. But you guys know what those people were shouting. Now, that's pack mentality. Nothing you can do with when pack mentality sets in, guys. And those people have got, like, nothing can stop it. You know, in the military, you would call that, you know, that's like ultimate aggression, that, guys. That's like when you're going into a bunker, that's how you need to be when you're going into a bunker. But when this hits the streets, and it will hit the streets, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be the Summer of Carnage. And I've been telling people so long about this, guys. It's absolutely insane. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me come up and get these comments. Belarus scales back military drills. The newspapers have dropped the white British man. Oh, so April is saying that the newspapers have now dropped the white British man. I don't know. I don't know. Let me I'll just do a quick Google search for this. Listen, I stand by what I said at the time. I mean, we was live streaming. I know a lot of you guys were on. We was live at the same time. I'm standing by what I said. I don't believe that, I may be wrong, but I don't believe that guy was 53. You can argue about ethnicity all you want, but like, I don't believe that guy was 53. You know, so yeah, where do we go with that? Right, so I'm getting here I'm just clicking on the BBC now, guys. What we know about the Liverpool, yeah, I'm just looking at the headlines, and it does. I mean, this is the most recent headline now from 18 years ago. That's not a recent headline from 18 years ago. 18 hours ago seems to be the most recent headline, and it has dropped the white British man, and it's dropped any description, actually. Again, that might just be that article, but yeah, it may be the case, guys. Look, we don't know. Like I always say, guys, look, the truth will come out at some point, and then we'll all look back and think, right, what were we being told at that time? And Claire is saying, oh, hang on. Claire is saying over on YouTube, is saying, hi back to Claire. It was interesting to see the herd mentality started. People are on the edge. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. So Claire on the other platform is saying, it's interesting to see the herd mentality, the pack mentality. Once people go, and this is what I say, guys, like, this is what I say, you've got to reach that critical mass. So, for example, for every 100 people, you might get one person who is going to go. They don't care what happens to them. They're going to lose their excrement, and they're going to go absolutely bonkers. All right. Of that one, that's 1%. Now that's 1%. So of that 100 people, 1% will go crackers. Of those 100 people, maybe 4 people, if they see someone go crackers, they might go biscuits. You know, you see where I'm going with this, guys. And of those 100 people, if there may be 10 people, if they see 5 people go biscuits, they may go Monster Munch or something. So, and this is what I'm talking about. Once you reach that critical mass, and you've got like 100,000 people, then you've got like 1,000 people who are going bonkers, and then you've got like 5,000 people who are going like, what did we say? Who are going biscuits, and then we've got 10,000 people who are going, what did we say, Monster Munch. You see how this works, guys, when you reach a critical mass of people, when you get pack mentality. And I've seen this in the Middle East, guys. I've seen this in the Middle East. I don't want to, how do I put this? I've seen this in the Middle East where pack mentality I don't want to use words that get this video flagged, guys. I'm just going to leave it there. I've seen it. I've watched video footage. I've been on the ground while this is happening in the Middle East, guys. It's not pretty. It's dark. It's brutal, and there is absolutely no stopping it. And that's why I'm talking about pack mentality. Right, guys, listen, there's loads of comments. Let me jump up, and I do apologize if, do you know what? I'm not going to apologize for missing any, because I'm not going to miss any comments. I'm going to get each and every one. And thank you, everybody, for sharing. I don't say that enough, guys. I know I should keep telling people to share and like and all the rest of the stuff. I'm just enjoying my conversation with you guys, because I'm double streaming today. I finally figured out how to double stream. Danny Boy saying, yes, it was images of the riots last year. Yeah, it was. Tanya Marie is saying something is brewing, which reminds me, I need to go and have a little drink of coffee, guys. Can you give me 2 seconds while I nip off screen and just caffeinate? Because if I have a drink of coffee, like, I get this live taken down for like, I just get a warning. So I need to jump off screen while I have coffee. I know it's absurd, guys, but I'm really close to getting, I've had some bad marks against my name. I don't want to get this. I don't want to get this platform taken down. So while I jump off screen, guys, I won't be long. Somebody time me. I'm literally jumping off screen and caffeinating. I'm back. Was that worth the wait? Was it worth the wait, ladies and gentlemen? Was it worth the wait? Right. Let me get these comments. Right. So, where was the last comment? I think it was, Tanya Marie there saying something is brewing. It is, guys, like something's brewing in the public. Not only is it brewing in the public, but it's brewing at government level. And honestly, guys, I think the government are pushing this along. I really do. Like, why? Look, guys, and I don't think he should be in jail in the first place. I'm not a legal expert, so I need to caveat that. But my perception of this is he had an unduly harsh prison sentence. But letting Tommy Robinson out when they did. Look, guys, I don't want anybody to think I'm like, I don't want anyone to think that I want that person in jail, because I don't. I want him to be out with his family. And if I was him, my advice would be, like, go to another country and don't let people arrest you again. But to release Tommy now, knowing as soon as he gets out, he's going to be organising rallies, marches, protests, you know, it would say to me that they want big rallies, big marches, and big protests. Because look, guys, whether you like him or not, like, nobody can draw a crowd like Tommy Robinson. Like, he will draw hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. You know, allegedly he's got funding now from Elon Musk. Again, like, these are things I was saying were coming. These are things that I was saying were coming, aren't they? You know, they're here. We can see them now. But let me just jump down and get these comments. Danny Boy, there was another car, I think, in Barcelona as well, into mass crowds. And when people, like, and again, whatever the outcome, guys, of this incident in Liverpool, whatever the outcome in from Liverpool, this is going to drive division in our communities. Like, you're going to have one side of you know, I need to struggle with my words because I don't want to get the video taken down. You're going to have one set of people saying, I don't believe this is a 53-year-old man, white man, because historically, people that do that sort of thing, excuse me, because people who do that sort of stuff, by the beard of Zeus, thank you, Lady Trace, for subscribing. Thank you, Lady Trace. Oh, by the beard of Zeus and Odin's eye, I'm sneezing like a sneezer. Because historically, it is a certain type of people who do that thing with the car. Now, if it comes out and it's not a 53-year-old white man from Liverpool, and it is, like the government saying, I'm just giving sides of this division here. people are, and they will already be saying, look, you guys are always, you guys are pointing the finger when it's not that you, oh God, must be that coffee. Banoffee. Oh, right, I think I'm good. So the divisions are there. And then the next time something happens, and it will, the next time something happens, it's not going to, oh, I'm going to fight through. I'm going to stay here, guys. I'm going to stay here. You stay here through the sneezes. Tiny Marie saying, I believe you, Raven. He looks young in the car. Yeah, he did look young in the car. April Lee is saying newspapers are, so the newspapers are dropping the 53-year-old white man, rhetoric. I saw it on here last night, said Danny Boy. Google is saying, got a cold at the moment. No, you've got a cold, or I've got a cold at the moment. No, I don't have a cold at the moment. I'm just a serial sneezer. Google is saying, did you hear about making Britain halal petition and debate? No, I didn't. I mean, what? Honestly. Listen, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me anymore. Yeah, right. Oh, who's this? Jodie Lee. Yeah, Jodie Lee is talking about pack mentality. She's saying, I've seen it loads of times in Northern Ireland. Once the riots start, once the riots start, guys. And listen, when I talk about riots and protests, and if you're not watching and you're new to this channel, when I was in the military, I spent a lot of time. We did a lot of the stuff with the riot shields. So I've done pretty much every job holding a riot shield. I've also been in the van in the background with a CCTV camera on a mast, trying to identify the ringleaders. This was before we had facial recognition. I've also been in the crowd trying to make covert arrests of ringleaders. I've also taught people how to use the riot shields, and as an instructor. So I do understand how all of this stuff works, and I do understand how pack mentality works. And when I give you the examples, the percentages may be off slightly, but you know where I'm going with that, guys. There's a small percentage of people in every gathering. There's a small percentage of people in every gathering who are like, yeah, I just want things to go crackers. But if the gathering's small enough, and there's no opportunities arise, that person won't go crackers. But if you reach a critical mass of people and you get enough of these people together, then you have a big number. And then the more people are going crackers, more people will join in. And what do we say? Crackers, people going bananas, people going biscuits, and people going Monster Munch. And think about a bullseye. You've got the whole group. You've got the small minority in the middle that will go crackers, and then you've got a bit bigger minority in the middle that will go bananas. Then you've got a bigger minority that will go, what did we say, biscuits. And then you've got another group that will go Monster Munch. And again, these things happen now. Historically, what we found, well, I'm not in the military anymore. Historically, what people have found is, especially in Eastern Europe, I know this, and I want to be careful here because I don't want to incriminate anyone. So through research in Eastern Europe, what they've found is when there's protests, there are agent provocateurs or saboteurs, or if you want the Russian Tatushkas, who operate in the crowd, and they're operating as that 1%. And you can see these guys, they'll go in with the faces covered, they will go absolutely crackers, they'll go bonkers, they'll set fire to things, and that rousts up the crowd. And those instigators, those ringleaders, they go home, they put their suits back on, and they go to get on a business jet and fly to whatever country. That's how these things work, guys. You've got to understand, you've got to understand near-peer adversaries right now. So right now, guys, I can guarantee right now, whatever part of the world you're thinking of that is a near-peer adversary to the United Kingdom, by near-peer, I mean like a country, there will be people sat in offices. Hey guys, thank you. Listen, I've just noticed we've just got 50,000 likes on the live stream. Thank you so much. I didn't. Thank you. So I guess we're being pushed out internationally now. I guess that's a little caveat, and I should ask people to like and share, comment, subscribe, whatever platform you're watching on, guys. If you could literally just click the buttons that help this channel grow, I'd really appreciate it. Oh, hang on. We've got just a quick question from YouTube. And then you get the people that are working and keeping the world running work together. You know what? So what we've got there is we've got a few things. The people that go out to protest are normally not the people paying taxes, because normally the people paying taxes. So there was a joke. I don't know if I should say it or not. Oh, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get a live ban. Should I say it? No, I'm not going to say it. But basically, you know, all these people that are out protesting day to day, they don't have jobs. And this is why I say you've got to reach that critical mass. And this is why I say again, wait until the summer holidays, because you know what? Those people are not going to be at work. Those people are not going to have to be up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Those people are not going to have to explain to the boss, you know, where they've been for the last 3 days and why they've got a cut on the top of their head and they're covered in stubble and they're like that. You know, so this is why I say, you know, there's lots of reasons why I'm saying it's coming this summer. There will be things, obviously, up until the summer, but we need to reach that critical mass. And the critical mass, Dreadnought on the other platform is saying, just say it. Just say it. Do you know what? I will cut the TikTok and I'll say it on the YouTube once we finish. But yeah, Johnny Lee's saying, I've seen it loads in Northern Ireland. Once the riots start, we get pack mentality. Right, let me jump down. Tanya Marie, lol, I agree. 7 seconds. Sharon is saying 7 seconds to caffeinate. Got to get quicker. There's a lot to cover. 7 seconds away. Right, he lives in, King Ray saying he lives in Spain. He has announced there will be a protest. I don't know what that means, King Ray. King Ray is saying he lives in Spain. He has announced there will be a protest. Oh, are we talking, right, okay, I think, King Ray, are we talking about Tommy Robinson there? I do apologise, it's taken me so long to get to your comments. Snowdrop, 30 September, Tommy Robinson said they have a protest, got people from America and Canada coming to speak. Maybe encouraging protests with Tommy to show Trump a false view of freedom of speech, says Lady Trace. Yeah, do you know what? I didn't think of that. I still think whatever's happening in the United Kingdom and around the world, guys, you know, I do think, look, this is going to be wild. I think this is all related to crop circles, all right? It's all related to crop circles. It's all related to life extension, and it's all related to a global conflict. I see all these things connected, guys. I do, and I will connect these dots for you in a bit. Danny Boy, I've done riot control in the army as well when I was in Iraq. Yeah, most soldiers do riot control or public order, or there's different names for it. Now, the British military have a good experience at doing this from operating in Northern Ireland, where they were, what was the mission of, was it Op Banner? Op Banner, where the British military were in support of the RUC. Or it's a part of the RUC that then turned into the PSNI. Why do you call it the PSNI? I don't know why we call it the PSNI, but we do. You see what I'm saying? Yes, Gerry Adams is part of the World Economic Forum, and he just led mass migration into Ireland. Now, the Irish for the island, island for the Irish seems to be a far-right concept. But when Gerry Adams wanted the English out, he didn't have a word to say when we started to bring all the third world into Ireland. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it comes out hard. Old habits die hard. Paul Poops, we're losing our identity. Tea and scones replaced with Tavikosi and Raki. Oh, look, guys, I do like a bit of Raki. I'm not going to lie. Look, guys, when we're talking about identity and when we're talking about the summer of carnage that's coming to the United Kingdom, there's going to be so many divisional lines. It's going to be, it's unbelievable. The only divisional line should be British culture, non-British culture. And that goes the same for every other country in the world. American culture, non-American culture. I don't know, Syrian culture, non-Syrian culture. Ugandan culture, non-Ugandan culture. South African culture, non-South African culture. That should be the only divisional line. It shouldn't matter what color of skin you are, what God you pray to. None of that should matter. It should all be superimposed on the background of culture. Now, as Paul Poops is saying, Tea and Scones is being replaced by Taff Scotty and Raki. I do like Tea and Scones, but I also like Raki. Danny Boy is saying, can I take you through a theory of mine? Yes, Danny Boy, throw that theory of mine out there. I think the government will start riots to get people arrested. Could be. Look, guys, but these riots and these protests, like, if you watched, like, how quickly they were shouting things in Liverpool that I'm not going to repeat on this platform, but how quickly those guys were shouting things like, and again, look, but what I'm getting at here, guys, is there's an underlying feeling. There's an underlying feeling in the general population of the United Kingdom, and it doesn't seem to have gone away. People don't forget. Priv Caro is saying you will only need one person who says the right thing to make people find an excuse for anger. Listen, right now in the United Kingdom, I don't think anybody needs an excuse for anger. I think there's plenty of anger in the underbellies of people. And then Danny Boy is saying, what Danny Boy is saying is maybe they're going to get people arrested on purpose and then say, look, if you want to avoid jail time, join the military, and off you go to, who knows where. Sorry, I keep saying King Ray, don't I? I keep saying King Ray, not King K Ring. Sorry, guys. Look, I said earlier on, didn't I? When I read something, I read it really quickly, and then I just tell myself what it says. I was doing it earlier. I was reading an article or somebody's comment, and I was just totally reading it in my own words, and I was like, right, that is not what the comment said at all. I'm just blatantly making this up now. K-Ring is saying de-escalate. I did it again. De-escalation. That was so bad, Raven. Yeah, I do. I remember is it my brain works faster than my eyes or my eyes? No, my brain works faster than my... How cool's that? My Raven's brain works faster than the speed of light. The universal speed limit. Yeah, Paul Poops. So I'm just going to pin this. This is what I was talking about. I'm not going to repeat what he's saying there. But that is what I was talking about, guys. That is literally what I was talking about. How quickly those people were shouting that from the crowd. And then you get that pack mentality. And people go, guys, and unless you've witnessed that firsthand, being in the crowd and you're looking around and you're like, dude, I'm like, no, I'm not going to try and arrest these people. I get lynched. You don't, unless you've seen it, you don't see it. K-Ring is saying Har Hills was before the riots in Southport, a week before. Totally different policing. Yeah, it was. Look, and people don't forget, people don't forget the difference in policing. People don't forget how heavy-handed the police came down. And I don't know what the military is going to act like, guys. I don't know what the military is going to act like, because if the military get called in, the military are a different... My perception of the military from when I was in the military, I believe the military would act totally differently to those Southport riots. In fact, guys, look, how do I say this without getting told off? If the military were called into Har Hills, I don't think they would have handled it the same. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. April saying, I'm married to a British-born Chinese man and I'm worried we have been together 35 years. Yeah, look, April, look, this is like, yeah, so let me pin this. So this is, but like, this is what I'm saying. When pack mentality sets in, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be anywhere near this pack mentality. You know, if people start doing something to someone, people will just join in. They don't even care. You know, they don't care about politics or anything. And this is when these blinkers go, and they do go. We've seen it. We saw it the other day in Liverpool. So remember those three things, guys, all right? What do we call them? It's hibernate, relocate, evacuate. So you need to hibernate, go back to your house, don't leave. You know, don't leave your house. Like, imagine, like, remember when we was at the, last year, we was in Rotherham at the hotel and it went south. There's a housing estate just behind that. And the police and the protesters, or the rioters, I guess, they were having pitched battles, guys. They were having pitched battles on those streets. And I was thinking, why is people stood in the gardens watching? Like, get in your house. Like, literally, get in your house. You don't want to be out there on the street. If you're out there on the street, you might get arrested. You might be tempted to do something you regret. You might get hit by something hurling in the sky. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. Hibernate. Now, somebody mentioned, Kay Ring mentioned before about Har Hills in Leeds. I think the Har Hills, whatever happened in Har Hills, was that a riot? Was it a protest? Or was it just like a good old crack off? But what happened there, I think that lasted for a couple of days. So you can imagine, like, being locked in the house, right? Can you imagine it now, guys? Put yourself in this scenario. Summer of carnage is here. Wherever you live in the UK, you know, your streets, you didn't think it had ever happened near you, and all of a sudden, all your streets are closed. There's police everywhere. There's burnt out cars, burnt out tires, people having pitched battles with the military, people having pitched battles with the police. There's rubble everywhere. There's police helmets, riot shields laid on the floor. You're there, you're in the house, and you're like, I need some organic fair trade Earl Grey tea bags. And you're looking at all this fire and the flames, and then you hear like some Hans Zimmer music coming from the background, and you're running out to your local shop, and you're doing like, what's the guy on Con Air where he's like, I'm going to show you there is a God. You know, you're running, you're jumping, doing forward rolls under the car, baton shield, flames, petrol bombs, you're docking and diving. You manage to get into your convenience store and it's shut. You're like, right, okay. Or you're like, you got any Earl Grey tea bags? He's like, nah, man, we sold out. People have been crackers for them. And you're like, right, okay. So then you have to make it all the way back. So what I'm saying is, hey, guys, make sure you've got a sufficient amount of Earl Grey tea bags and other said items that would help you in a 72-hour lockdown. And then so that's your hibernate. Then you've got your relocate, move to someone's house who lives in the middle of nowhere, who you deem to be safe. Get all the family to meet there, guys. If you all live in a certain estate or whatever, relocate. And then if things are getting really bad, get on the next flight out of the UK, go on holiday, come back in a couple of months when everything's blown over. Oh, Danny Boy is saying, oh, wow, okay. Danny Boy, can you give us right? So Danny Boy is saying, I live 5 minutes away from Har Hills and my daughter lives in Har Hills. Danny Boy, can you give us an update on I don't know if I don't want you to incriminate anyone or incriminate your daughter, certainly, but could you give us your daughter lived in Har Hills, what were her thoughts? Did she feel threatened at any time? And I know that's going to sound a strange question because people are going to be like, the streets were on fire, of course you felt threatened. Well, not always. You don't always feel threatened. I've been in I've been in quite a few shootouts, and a lot of them I've never felt threatened. So what did your daughter feel like? Can you give us an update on what your what your daughter was going through? And does your daughter have like food and stuff in the house now because she's lived through that? And Danny Boy is saying, right, Danny Boy, I can't repeat that, mate, because I can't repeat that unless there's a link to that. But I'm just going to pin that there. What Danny Boy's saying, I can't repeat that. K Ring is saying Romani had their kids took off them. Yeah, that's why it all started, isn't it? Because well, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but apparently. Allegedly, there was social services went out to a house or something, and they tried to take some kids off a family, and then everything just went crackers. And Sharon's saying, everybody in my house keeps laughing because I've got a year's supply of tea. Yeah, remember in the 2022 when Putin went into Ukraine in 2022, and my mum was at the bottom of the gate, and she came up with she had one carrier bag full of UHT milk and tea bags, and the other carrier bag was full of chunky soup. All right, so from Danny Boy, yes, she did. So for those of you guys who are just watching it the first time, we're talking here about the what was happening in Har Hills last year, and Danny Boy lives near Har Hills, and his daughter actually lives in Har Hills. I asked what she was like, and I asked him for an update, and he said, yes, she did. So she did feel scared. Her grandma had to drive her to school rather than her going on the bus. Yeah, it was quite a while, wasn't it? And Danny Boy, may I just ask as well, and again, you don't have to answer this, obviously, but Danny Boy, what are the social dynamics like now in Har Hills? I feel that what would have happened in Har Hills is because the police came down soft on the people in Har Hills, I would say that's empowered them and empowered them to have even more social collateral on those in that area. And again, the police came down light on. If you come down, if the police basically, if you come down light on people, they do it again. If you come down hard on people, they kind of don't do it again until it kicks off, which is what's going to happen in the United Kingdom. So you can come down on people hard if you remove the flame. If you remove the flame and come down on people hard, you won't have a resurgence of that issue. If you come down on people hard and keep the flame burning, it's just going to happen worse and worse, guys. It's just going to happen. It's just the next time it happens, it's just going to be worse. Oh, and Danny Boy says the police just ran away and just left them to it. Yeah, look, guys, I believe this year, when we're talking about the Summer of Carnage, I believe we're going to see more, scenes of police running away. We're going to see more scenes of police having to evacuate. We're going to see more scenes of police dropping their kit and equipment. And again, look, guys, I was driving the other day. I was driving up a street, and there was a guy, I'm not going to say his ethnicity. Should I say his ethnicity? That's what we do now. We talk about, do you know what, guys? I'm going to say I'm not going to say his ethnicity, guys. I'm not. But there was a gentleman. He was being held down by two police officers. He was going bonkers. He was going biscuits. There was these two police officers trying to wrestle him to the ground. And I looked at the police officers, and I just thought, honestly, if those police officers tried to arrest me and I didn't want to be arrested, but I would totally go I'd go Jet Li on them and make them wear each other's belts, and they'd both be handcuffed together. So I struggle to see how the police can keep control of these. How the police can keep control of these things. What I would say is, if there was ever a situation where the police needed to do a dance-off with rainbow flags, those two officers, like, I wouldn't even try and get in a dance off with those two officers because they would literally wipe the floor with me. They had like funky hips and they were like skinny cool and they had like their little belts on and aviator sunglasses. I was like, yeah, like I can't. No, they didn't have sunglasses. I'm sorry. I think I'm just imagine that. But like you see what I'm going, guys. You know, policing in the United Kingdom is more geared towards painting rainbows on your vehicle. Sharon Owen is saying Zelensky and Merz to hold a press conference in Berlin. Let me just have a quick swizzle on this. 2 minutes ago. Live. Right, I may be able to, if this is live, guys, we'll play it together. Ugh. Right, okay, so I'm looking on Sky News here, guys, and they've got... they're talking about this Taurus missile system. Now, I don't want to bore anyone with like these different missile systems, but like nothing's going to be a game changer in Ukraine. Nothing's going to be a game changer. Russia's too big. You know, Russia is too big. Because can you remember how like we're gonna give Ukraine the Challenger tanks? It's going to be a game changer. Well, no, that didn't work. Right, okay. We're gonna give Ukraine A1 Abrahams. Yeah, that's not a game changer either. Right, okay. We're gonna give Ukraine F-16s. What? We're gonna give Ukraine F-16s. It's gonna be a game changer. Right, it's not gonna be a game changer. Right, we're gonna give Ukraine Storm Shadow missiles. It's gonna be a game changer. Not a game changer. We're gonna give Ukraine Scalp missiles. It's gonna be no, it's not. And now they're talking. It's not gonna be a game changer, guys. Look, the Russians have changed their tactics now. You know those. And again, guys, I'm just doing this quickly. There, I've got a little Spitfire I'm building. So. The Shahed drones usually fly low to the ground because of the engine they've got in, the engine they're working from. Now, if you fly low to the ground, you're really susceptible to small arms fire to be intercepted. So what the Russians have done, they've changed the engine of the Shahed drone and it flies a lot higher now, which is a lot harder to intercept. So you have to fire a really expensive interception missile at it. Now, the aim of the game here is to deplete those missiles, and then you send the big missile. To deplete the interception missiles by using cheap drones that the missiles have to intercept, and then you send your big Iskanders over. I think that this new change in tactics by the Russians, I can't see a solution for it, guys, especially if, and we've not seen this yet, I don't know if it's happening, but I would suspect that the Shahed drones are just going to come really, really high and then do an absolute dive bomb onto these locations, and then it's going to be pretty much game over for any infrastructure. Oh, and Danny Boy's saying, K-Ring is saying, tap the folks screen. It's I'm doing it again. Tap the screen, folks. It's free. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on TikTok, please hit those buttons, the like, the follow, the subscribe, whatever buttons that help this channel grow, guys, because I really do appreciate it, guys. I do. Right, I'm trying to get this. Oh, here we are. Hang on. Just trying to get. I think there's going to be a military honor guard for Zelensky as he arrives in Berlin. Vladimir Zelensky has just shaken hand with Friedrich Merz in Berlin, and in Berlin, and is welcomed by a military honor guard after his arrival in the German capital. The Ukrainian president is there seeking to shore up support from one of his country's key European allies and further military aid as peace talks stall. Can you remember when we was on? And like we was on the live stream and people were saying, Sean, Donald Trump's going to have the peace negotiations in full. I was like, no, he's not. And like here we are, like literally the end of May. Germany has been the second biggest supplier of military aid to Ukraine after the US. Merz announced for the first time on Monday that Germany was lifting range restrictions on the weapons supplied to Ukraine. Now, That's a non-story, guys. Really, it is. It's a non-story. The Ukrainians have this capacity anyway. It's not really. It's a financial decision. It's a financial decision, leading many to wonder if today's visit would include confirmation that Ukraine would finally get the long-range Taurus missiles after repeated requests. There's no difference, guys, between the Taurus missiles, the Scalp missiles, the Storm Shadow missiles. They're all air-launched cruise. They're all air-launched cruise missiles. They're not really going to have an effect because of the size of, the size of Russia and the cost of these missiles as well. So the question would be, who is funding this? Where's this money coming from? Russia says forces have captured 2 regions in Ukraine. It's captured the settlement of Kostianivka in Ukraine's northeastern Sumy region. The Kremlin's defense minister also claims to have taken control of the village of Zelenpol in the eastern Donetsk region. Sky News cannot confirm independently the battlefield report. So yeah, like every day, guys, the Ukrainians are losing ground. Every day there's more, every day the Ukrainians are losing more and more ground in this conflict. And like every day, literally, that they lose ground is a day closer to, it's literally a day closer, or a meter or kilometer, whatever metric you want to use. It's getting closer to those, to the shores of Europe, to the River Dnipro, and at some point, people are going to have to actually get out and do something. Danny Boy is saying police officers now deployed to record drivers from public transport. I don't know what that means. Every day is a school day on this channel. Sean, glad I joined. Thank you so much, April. Paul Poops, did you see Macron's wife push him in the face on the plane? Right. I don't really give much notice, to world leaders' wives. Do you know what? I don't really give much notice to world leaders or look at them. I watch what they say, I watch their speeches, I look at their body language, but that's about it. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but guys, can you all please go and look at President Macron's wife? Just go and look at his wife, get a close-up of her face. I'm not gonna I'm not going to make any speculations, guys. Just go and look at her. Guys, well, that's all I'm saying. And they say, I know love is blind. Love is blind. I would consider Macron quite a dashing fella. He is. He's quite a dashing fella. He's the president of he's the president of a country. He's a dashing fella. I've no doubt he's charismatic. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. Do you know what? Let me have a look at Trudeau's wife. Because I'm just thinking about something here. No, she looks normal. Yeah, she looks normal. She looks. Yeah, she looked quite normal. I was just thinking, I just had something in the back of my head there. Right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, Jody Lee, I'm going to pin that. I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to pin that. I am just going to pin Jody Lee's comment here. Right, guys, look, I know I said we was going to go down the crop circles road, but we have been on quite a while. I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Yeah, and Dreadnought here on, let me pin this on YouTube. How do I pin that? How do I pin comments on? Oh, there we are. Yeah, so on YouTube and on TikTok, we've got literally the exact same comment. So Jody Lee's commenting on TikTok and Dreadnought's commenting on YouTube. Right, guys, look, I'm just going to quickly now. I'm going to go out there. This is going to be out there, right? This is going to be wild. It's going to be out there. When we started this channel, right? I did want to cover like aliens. I did want to cover UFOs and UAPs and like supernatural fringe stuff and like, you know, wild conspiracies and stuff. It's just not gone that way. Now, one of the things that I do videos on is crop circles. Now, I don't believe for 1 second, not for 1 second, that crop circles are done by Bob and Barry with a couple of pieces of rope and some boards. I don't believe it, guys. Like, I don't believe it. Like, if you look into these crop circles, like the actual, like where the crops are bent, and these are all, most of the world's crop circles are in Wiltshire in the United Kingdom. But when these crops are bent over, they're bent over at like the node. So like, you know, the knuckle on the, so like grass and like flowers and stuff, they have like a node, and that's for like rotating them so they can get maximum sun energy. And these crop circles are all bent at the nodes. There's a new node right at the bottom, and nobody talks about this. And that's where the crop circles are bent. In the middle of these crop circles, all the crops are like weaved together. And some of these geometric designs, guys, like in the military, I've done a lot of time walking in fields at night time, and it's almost impossible to walk in a field in a straight line at night time. Even if you're going off a compass, guys, it's very difficult. And there's geometric patterns with like hundreds of little circles and arms coming off these circles. And like for what I don't believe for 1 second, guys, all right, that these crop circles are, maybe I believe some of them will be done by a few guys with boards. I get that. But even if it's just 1% of crop circles that are not done with boards, what is that 1%? You know, and if it was me, I would put if I was Rachel Reeves, I would come up, I would say, we are not funding anything in this country. We are not doing a penny on anything until I find out what these crop circles are. Every penny or GDP. I wouldn't care, guys. I wouldn't. I know that'd be bad for some people, but I would find out what those crop circles are. Now, I've done lots of videos. I always say the same thing. When I look at these crop circles, not always, but most times I see machinery. I do, guys. I see machinery. I see things that rotate. If you kind of use a single axis and think about rotational and vortex dynamics, like that's what I see with these crop circles. Now, why do they always happen in England? Why always in Wiltshire? Well, it can't be denied, guys, that the United Kingdom has a ridiculous, like, if you live in the United Kingdom, there's something here in the ground. It's some sort of like creative energy. There is a creative energy in the United Kingdom. Whether you believe it or not, you know, whether you believe me or not, I believe there is, and lots of other people do. There's a ridiculous creativity in the United Kingdom. Massive creative energy. Massive. Now, literally, guys, if you go around the world, like any big company, any huge company that's like driving innovation, there'll always be British people at the top driving that innovation. Not at the top because, you know, the Brits are not the best business people, but where it comes to creativity, making something from nothing. I mean, guys, look, you know, you only need to go back through British history. Like, Britain literally invented everything. And what do we have to show for it? So what better way to stop people looking at crop circles than to have the Summer of Carnage? Because I do believe that there's messages in these crop circles that could absolutely change humanity. Like, for example, if there was a plan to have a monopole magnet on one of those, I do see a lot of magnetic stuff on those crop circles, guys, I do. If there was like a diagram or a way to have a monopole magnet, so a magnet that only had a north pole, and I know that sounds absurd, but if there was some way to have a magnet with only a north pole, that would solve the world's energy problems overnight. It would stop all wars. It would stop all famine. We would literally start to, we would literally go into space and start to explore the stars. So I do think, and again, maybe I'm just being fringe on this, guys, but how much stuff do I say, just off the fly comes out and like a couple of months' time, it's like, oh yeah, that was actually a thing. Like, could it be, and I'm not saying it is, I'm saying, could it be the Summer of Carnage, all this stuff that's happening on the streets in the United Kingdom? Could it all be to stop people looking at crop circles, to stop people's creativity, to stop people innovating, to stop people building things because people are more fixated about, oh, they did this and they did that. And like, could that be the answer, guys? And every time I look at these crop circles, like, it just fascinates me, and if there's ever answers to the universe, I believe like we're all looking for answers of the universe in space. When I believe if we want real answers to the universe, it's here, it's in England, it's in Wiltshire, and it happens every summer. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to, oh yes, we got 105 likes. Right, guys, listen, I do think I deserve a pat on the back because I have managed to double stream. Oh, hang on, I've got a couple of comments on YouTube. Some strange things in the world, but to what end? Why do it? Why make it? What make it make sense? A warning, a message. We are aliens. Let's go screw with these people. Well, look, guys. I just think those. Again, it may not even be aliens that are sending these messages. It may be us from another dimension. It may be an alternate dimensional energy that's operating in our world, but in just a dimension that we can't see. And guys, look, I'm not going down that rabbit hole because that is wild. It's dark. It's not dark. It's wild, and that is a nighttime discussion. Anyway, guys, listen. Thank you so much for being with me. I have managed to double stream. I'm going to close. I'm going to close everyone down now. I will be back on later. Thank you so much guys, listen, thank you so much for liking and subscribing and commenting and all those things. And if you've not done so already, whether you're on you guys, so I've got two cameras now, make sure you like and follow and subscribe and all those things that help this channel grow. And thank you so much, guys. I'll be back later. So those guys are closed down, and now it's time for you guys. Right, let's close you guys down. Dreadnought, no, I don't really play any games. No, I play chess. I play. Oh, thank you for the likes. I've got like chess on my phone, and that's it. To you guys, thank you. In fact, to you guys are still on YouTube. Thank you for getting to the end of it, guys. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, and all those things that help this channel grow.